Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. As you log in, just go ahead and like the page, share this live broadcast, and invite some individuals. Like, share, invite. Tell a few people that we are on. We are here. Day number 9. Night number 9. I'm excited. I'm just going to share this to a few people. Share this with a few people. Go ahead and share this live. Invite a few people. Let them know that we are on the Rave World 2.0 page. Invite, invite, invite. Hope everyone is doing okay. All of my Miamians in this weather. If you're staying at home, stay home. All right, so I'm going to get started. I normally don't wait for a crowd of people. I just jump right in there because you will catch this replay. If you are catching the replay, go ahead and make sure that you go to the Rave World 2.0 page so that you are up to date with what time that we're going live so that you don't miss this good information. And those of you who don't know who I am, I will introduce myself. My name is Stefanie White, and I am the lead creative of Rave Creative Impressions. I started this a few years ago, and I am my real aim and my heart's desire is to be a voice for the creatives. But this time I am training my ear to only listen to the one and only creator. So I want to make sure that every information that I'm getting, I'm downloading, I'm getting it directly from the one and only creator. And he is giving me these words to say to you. If you want to find out more about me and what I'm about, who I am, you can always go to www.stefaniewhite.com. That is Stefanie, STEFANIE, white.com. Again, go now if you can, right after this live, like the page. We're on Rave World 2.0 on Facebook and on Instagram. Go ahead and like those so that you can stay abreast of what we're doing with Rave Creative Impressions. Right now I am doing quite a bit with books for authors and things like that, but I will have a lot more things coming up. So you want to stay abreast of what's coming up. And you can also add yourself on our mailing list on stephaniewhite.com as well. Every night, meet me here in the month of November, every night at 10 p.m. I have promised. I missed one day, and that was because of the election, but I promised that I was not going to miss a day, and I don't want to give empty promises. So I am here with you for 30 days, giving you 30 minutes of how I overcame whatever obstacle at that given moment. This today, the obstacle is it's going to help everybody. So you don't even have to be a creative. You can be a mother, you can be a sister, a daughter, whatever the case is. This is for everybody. Today's topic, again, I want you to engage with me. So if I'm saying something, if you have a question, ask the question. If you want to share something, share something. The comments are open. If you want to send me an email, most definitely send me an email. All the information is on the page. So again, share, like, give me thumbs up, hearts. I love all of those things. All right. So today's topic is know your worth. All right. So how did I overcome not knowing my worth? For a long time, I didn't know my worth. So how did I overcome that? And the first thing I want to ask you is I have to ask myself the same question. Why is it so hard? Or why are we even so hard on ourselves that we can believe in everybody else? We can believe in everyone else's word and everyone else's vision, everyone else's product. It's so wonderful, but we can't believe in what we produce. Every other person can produce whatever it is, but somehow we just don't think that what we have measures up. And I'm speaking to myself as well, because I struggled with that for a very long time. I would hear different stories from people on Facebook, these different coaches and some industry professionals, and it's like we all have a common reality. Everyone has a common reality. It all started with an idea. That's it. It started with an idea, and that idea was planned out. The idea was executed. The idea resulted in dividends, some type of profit, and that was the flow. So what makes it different for another person to do it versus you? And a lot of that has to deal with not knowing your worth. So I'm saying not knowing your worth. And obviously I am not in that position any longer. I now know my worth. It took me a long time to get to this place, but how did I get to this place? How did I realize that I needed to know my own worth? Well, after years of being taken advantage of, I began to know my own worth. It really honestly took me crying about some things, being mistreated, people only calling me when they wanted free tickets to South Beach Wine and Food Festival, which is a festival that I did for about 9.5 years. Or even phone calls from individuals who just wanted to pick my brain. They wanted to pick my brain, but they didn't want to pay me for my services. And they didn't really support the endeavors that I embarked on as well. So somewhere along the line, I realized that I had created this invisible boundary line, and everyone just felt comfortable crossing the line and trampling all over it and kicking it and all that stuff. And I honestly went through a period where I didn't think that I could really stand on my own 2 feet. I didn't believe I could actually do an event and just my name be highlighted, because I felt like people wouldn't show up. So I would always partner with individuals to do events. I would always partner with a nonprofit, because no one's going to come out just because it's Stefanie, but they'll come out because I'm attached to this particular individual or this nonprofit. I did not believe that what I had to offer was enough. And I had this disdain taste about my own gifts and talents in my head. And I just hid them. And I used to hear people tell me all the time, Stefanie, once you understand the value that you have and the creativity that you have and the smarts and the this, I'm like, I didn't see it. What everyone else saw in me, I never saw it. And I never saw it because I never took the time to pay attention to the value that I held. But I started to see people taking these large leaps, jumps into avenues that I would have never thought that they would jump into. Or I would see people who would just, throw an event together. And I mean, they would throw it together in a week, get marketing in a week. And I'm like, wait, that's not how you do this. But it wasn't perfect, but they did it. I even saw people who were very like mediocre. Like one of the things that sometimes bothers me when it comes to especially something in the hospitality industry is seeing and I don't want to say this, like, don't think this is me being that person, but I kind of call them like the bootleg event planners. Like they throw things together. Things are not even the right theme. They spend a lot of money on all kind of stuff that just does not make sense. So you're not conscious of the client's budget, but you just want to make a huge splash. And like some of those individuals, I wonder, like, how do they get these types of clients? There's something about them that has opened the door for this clientele. And I believe that it is them knowing their worth. Whatever that is, it may not be up to my standards, but someone identified their worth. So here I am, I'm standing there and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm so gifted, I'm so talented. And I was like, wait, but my hands are in my pocket. I'm watching on the sidelines. And I'm only watching on the sidelines because at that point I had gotten tired of being used and taken advantage of. And so at that point I was like, you know what? I don't want to produce anymore. So I did not believe that what I had to offer would even measure up. I was like, well, you know what? They'll find someone else to do it. So I want to say something to anyone who's ever felt like that, who's ever been in the position that I've been in, where you felt like, your all has been overlooked, your all has been someone has just used every bit of talent, but they don't say thank you, they don't say give you your accolades, they don't tell you good job. None of those things matter to them. The point is that you gave them something that they needed, and you were okay with not getting what you were worth at that point. So I want to say this to any and one of you. So getting to the finish line does not determine your self-worth. It does not. So whether you finished in the middle, you finished first, you finished last, that's not going to determine your self-worth. Your position does not determine your self-worth. So whether you are the lead person or the entry level person, it does not determine your self-worth. Your age does not determine your self-worth. You can be 50. I know some extremely talented industry professionals who are in their 60s and 70s. Okay? Your looks do not determine your self-worth. I can talk about that a lot more. I do know a lot of people have been doing all types of, things, just to make their appearance. Putting on a blue suit does not make your self-worth. Like, that's not going to determine your self-worth. So your looks do not determine your self-worth. Other people do not determine your self-worth. Running and failing does not determine your self-worth. If you fail or if you've fallen, I don't even believe in failure. For me, I don't consider it a failure. I consider it something that I now have to learn from, something that I have added lesson value. That's something, that's another level of experience. Okay, now I know how to do this. Okay, I won't do this anymore. But even that doesn't determine your self-worth. Your following does not determine your self-worth. I thought about this a lot, that, me doing these 30 days, I'm like, what if no one watches? Doesn't matter. For me, it's about the task at hand, what I have been challenged to do during the season. So whether there's no one on the live, whether there are 5 people on the live, whoever's on the live, it doesn't even matter. I am doing what it is that I have been destined to do at this point, and that is to share with every creative overcomer. I can say that I put all of my flaws and baggage and whatever, I put it out there for everyone to hear it, and I can say that I did what I was supposed to do. So my following does not determine my self-worth. My friends do not, and your friends do not determine your self-worth. Don't let anyone tell you that. Your spouse does not determine your self-worth. You are not valuable because of who you're married to. For some reason, I just felt like I needed to say that to somebody. Your spouse does not make you. Just because you are married does not mean you have less value or more value because you are now connected to that person. Your spouse does not determine your self-worth. The money that you have or don't have does not determine your self-worth. The only thing that can determine the value of you is you. That's the only thing that can determine that. I wanted to share this, and I'm going to share it, but I'm just going to leave some things out. If you know who I am and you know me personally, then you know where I work. This last year, I believe that this was the most challenging decision that I had to make. I am an educator at a college, and I love teaching. I love being an educator for my hospitality professionals. I love it. I started about 5 years ago. Actually, this will be 6 years that I'm coming up on that I have been an educator at this same facility, this same school. And last year, one thing about me is anytime that I put my all into something, I put my all into anything, I put all of my creativity, all of my knowledge, I use all of my resources, everything to make sure that what I am giving out makes sense. You're able to walk away with something and you feel good about what I've given you. So my students, and I love my students to this day are now Facebook friends. They're now mentees. I help them find jobs whenever I can. I connect them to organizations. I've helped them even study for some of these major exams. And they always come back to me, Professor White, can you please write me a letter of recommendation? And I do it for them because I have developed a relationship with my students. So for 5 years, I put my all in all. I've developed programs. I've developed events to engage our students and keep our students engaged. And out of their mouths, I every semester, I record, at the end of the semester, I record my students saying testimonials about what they've learned from class. And every year, they say that the only reason that they come back and they sign up is not to brag on me, but the only reason is because I have showed them that there is so much more to the hospitality industry than they thought originally. So for me, that's a win for me. So I've been on every committee possibly known to man when it comes to the engagement of the students. And there was one full-time position available. I went for the full-time position and I did not get the full-time position. They actually gave the full-time position to someone that I trained. And at first it was a sting, it was a burn. I really was like, how in the world? And her response, and she didn't give me this response directly to my face. She gave it to someone else. Her response was, Stefanie is too talented to be stuck at the college. And for me, at that point, I was upset, but at that point I was like, you know what? If it was for me, it was going to be for me. And I could not really understand why she made that decision. But honestly, if I was at that position right now, I probably would not be able to expand doing all the things that I'm doing now. So I'm understanding now that even though I felt like I deserved that position, even my chairperson saw a different type of value in what I had to offer, that she could not, or she felt like she could not hold me in a position. So I've let it go. I'm over it. I'm not upset anymore about it. But I didn't understand my self-worth. I did not understand my value. I did not understand what it was I had to offer. But I now know exactly that I am so multifaceted. I call myself an eclectic creative because I am not in one genre. I'm in so many different genres. Hospitality. I'm an author, singer, I'm writing TV scripts, show, like I am not just in one box. Listen, I may even add modeling to my career. Who knows? Down the line, whatever. But because now that I know that, I am understanding that, and just like I'm understanding it, you have to understand it. You are not an option. And when someone treats you as such, it's your job to help them to realize exactly who you are and that you're worth more. So removing yourself from the equation. So when I didn't get that job position, I knew that I was the only professor that was teaching certain classes that were mandatory for students. No one else was trained to teach the class. So I took all of my 5 years of experience of teaching this class, and now someone else has to develop this class from the ground. Okay? So remove yourself from the equation. Try not to even care about what may happen to them. Get a sense of self-pride. Get some arrogance about yourself. I had to get some arrogance. I had to really no, that's beneath me. And it's not that arrogance to the point where it's a disgusting arrogance, but you had to get it to the point where you understood that the value on the inside of you, no one else can touch that. No one can do that. I don't care if someone steals an idea from you. If they steal an idea from you, guess what? They can steal an idea from you, but they will never be able to produce it like you. And so I had to get that self-arrogance about me. And guess what? Either they're going to figure it out or you move on. Stop giving a person all of you and only receiving a portion. If you give a person all of you, but they only pour back a portion, who fills the rest? Now you're left trying to build things together, put pieces together. And that's not what you're supposed to do. It's like in a relationship. Either you take all of the person or you take none of the person. You can't build a relationship, like build a man. It's not building a man. You can't do that. Either you take the whole man or the whole spouse, or you don't take any of them. You take their flaws, you take their mishaps, you take the snoring, you take the stinky feet, you take the towels on the floor, you take all of that. You can't just take part of it. So the same thing happens with you and your self-worth. They can't just take part of you. Taking part of you is taking part of an important part of you that now somebody else has to work just as hard to fill that void. When you accept a client, do you take them or do you really vet out the not the client? Now, here's the thing with me. I do not like doing weddings. And I don't like doing weddings because for me, it takes a lot of me, and patience to deal with brides. I think brides are crazy. My sister is a bride. I'm just going to leave it at that because I know she's watching. But dealing with brides, sometimes for me, I know my limit. I know how much I can take. I know that that is not my lane. So why would I even put myself in a situation? Because now I know my worth. I know my value. I know who I am. I don't have to do that. So I'm going to, here's my little shameless plug. I'm almost done. I recently released an e-workbook. And you can find it on the website, www.stefaniewhite.com. And it's called Get Up, Know Your Worth, and Stop Being Janky. It's only $5.99. It's like I'm almost giving this away for free. I had plenty of people who read it, purchased it, and they was like, why are you giving this away for free? Well, why? Because it was just a brain dump. For me, it was a brain dump. I was like, you know what? This is not the stuff that I need to pull in clientele. I want to give this away for free. This is something that can help a lot of people. It's all of the things that I went through and my mess ups, my mistakes, all the things that I've this is just a tool to use. If you need this e-workbook, it says Get Up, Know Your Worth, and Stop Being Janky. Stop doing things halfway. If you have a vision, you have a dream, you are a creative, whatever the case is, stop being janky. Walk in it the way that you should walk in it. Know your worth. Stop taking pennies. You are not a peasant. So you're not taking breadcrumbs from the table. Take the whole table. You know how you take the whole table? Know your worth. Don't just charge them $20 because you think it sounds fair. Charge them what it is, like the time that you take to do something for a client and a guest and this and that. That's the time that you should charge them for. You should charge them based on what that particular product is valued at. So it's on the website. It's $5.99. I've been fussed at plenty of times about giving it away for free. But guess what? This is you. If you want it, it's a $5.99 investment. It will help you. It's a step-by-step guideline. It will ask questions on what you're missing. Have you done this? Are you here? Where? It's a thought-provoking. You can write in it, print it out, write it in. It's only 18 pages, so it's not a whole lot. It's not a huge book, but it is very meaty. It's very meaty. I would not, steer you wrong. It's extremely meaty. Again, that website is www.stefaniewhite.com. Stefanie is spelled Stefanie white.com. You can find all of that information on that website. Listen to me. I have gone through every avenue of not realizing my own worth. If I can tell you anything and leave this with you, listen, you are valuable. What you have in your intellectual thoughts and brain is valuable. What you write in a journal at night when nobody's listening or looking is valuable. The song that you hum in the car while you're by yourself, it's valuable. Stop thinking that what you have is not worth being seen, being heard. It is worth it. And once you begin to put the right value, the right plan, the right motives, the right push, the right jump, just do what it is that you have written in that book. Like, there are so many people who are coming to me who are asking, how are you writing these books? How are you doing this? Well, you know what it is? I'm tired of not producing what I know that my worth is. I know what my worth is now. So because I know what my worth is, I'm not going to cheat myself any longer. I'm not going to do for other people and make them great and I'm sitting here looking like I'm a pauper. No, that's not possible. I am going to produce just as well as what I've done for other people. When you go to work, you give them good 8 hours. You give them good 8 hours. And some of you are overworked and underpaid. So why would you come home and know that you have an idea that can possibly get you out of working for someone else and you keep it to yourself? Listen, take this time. I know, I don't want to fuss. I've been there. Don't worry. We've been in the same boat. But I'm not going to fuss about it. Take this time. Write it down exactly what it is that you know that you're worth. Now, it's to the point where I had to think about it. I was like, wait, the school pays me this amount per credit. Why am I charging this amount when I'm working with a client? I had to assess those things. I had to get down to it. I'm cheating myself. It's one thing to cheat someone else, but to cheat yourself, how low can you really feel about you? Stop being janky. Get up, know your worth, and stop being janky. That's all I have to say to you guys. I didn't even have to add the scripture to it. I didn't have to add anything else to it. Like, you have already been in this place for too long. Get off the live. If you want to find out more information, go ahead. Go to www.stefaniewhite.com. Download the $5.99 e-workbook that's available right now. All you got to do is pay for it. Click that download. It'll come directly to you. Get to work. Get to work on what will catapult you to the next level. What will expose the gifts and talent that you've been hiding. Get up. That is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that I gave you some good nuggets. I hope that I gave you something for you to really think about. I am Stefanie White. I am the lead creative at Rave Creative Impressions. And I'm going to end it like I end it every single night. This is night 9. I can't believe I've been doing this every night. But if you don't do it, who else will? Because nobody can do what you are purposed to do like you. So be creative, be unique, and be purposeful. Until tomorrow, I have another juicy topic for you. This one will be a doozy, but until tomorrow, listen guys, get up, know your worth, and stop being janky. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.